Good morning, students. This is Harshal teacher from St. Thomas Bethany Convent School. Today we are going to learn the part 3 of Science and Spirituality lesson. Previous video we have seen the two part of this lesson. I hope all of you have understood these two parts. Now we are going to see the part 3 of this lesson. Till now we have seen that there are one church and the bishop were trying to open a institution, or sorry, trying to launch one scientific program, and they want to open that in Tomba. Okay, so now we'll see later what happened. A few years later, in the early 1980s, Professor Satish Dhawan, the director of ISRO, what is the full form of ISRO? Indian, what is that? Can you tell me what is the full form of ISRO? You will tell me when I'm going to ask the question. Okay, I'm not going to say now. Okay, under whom Dr. Kalam had made his first unsuccessful launch in 1970, and then a successful one in 1980, had provided him with more soul shaping wisdom. One day in 2020, we were discussing the number of PhDs Dr. Kalam had received. So, how many PhDs Dr. Kalam had received? They were discussing about that. He said to me, Srijan, Professor Dhawan had so many master's degree, all from the best institution, no less. So, I asked him how one can become so academically accomplished. He responded, saying that academic brilliance is no different from the brilliance of a mirror, which can be diminished by a coating of dust. Okay, so only when the dust is removed does the mirror shine and the reflection becomes clear. So we can remove the impurities that obscuring our souls by living pure and ethical lives, and by serving humanity. Obscuring means making unclear. Okay, so whatever is making unclear to your education or your knowledge, you just have to dust you just have to remove the dust from your mind, and then only we can see this, and then God will shine through us. These work took me back to my meeting with Dr. Kalam after my graduation from IIMA in 2009. At the time, he had advised me to use my degree and gold medal to transform the society I lived in. Back in the present moment, it suddenly struck me that Dr. Kalam's advice had, in fact, directly resonated from Professor Dhawan's beliefs. Resonated means echoed or resounded. Okay, the more I lived and worked with Dr. Kalam, the more I realized that though his words of wisdom, I was getting to learn from countless great minds. In this way, Srijan, Professor Dhawan, Srijan asked to Professor Dhawan about the master's degree, and that time Dr. Kalam said that we are taking so much degree means what we are doing exactly? We are just obscuring our or making the unclear views and taking it clear in our way. So that only here Dr. Kalam's advice that directly resonated means echoed from Professor Dhawan's beliefs, that is, the more if I want to leave, then more we want to work with Dr. Kalam, and more we realize that his words of wisdom was getting to learn a countless great mind. Then after, in April 2009, Dr. Kalam was invited to attend the 102nd birthday celebration of His Holiness Dr. Shri Shri Shivkumar Mahaswamiji in the Tumkur district of Karnataka. Mahaswamiji is a remarkable person who has decided his life to the service of humanity. His great contribution is the establishment of a free residential education system for more than 9,000 children in the ashram. The most astonishing aspect of the entire event of his birthday was that the the 102 years old Swamiji stood on his feet without any support. So, can you imagine that? Anybody can stand without any support at the age of 102? He looked as steady and alert as any other youngster present there. So, and he was looking so nice and so handsome that any other youngster present over there. This display of inner strength touched Dr. Kalam deeply. See, now we those who are younger, they are looking very nice and they are looking strong. But here, that Swamiji is 102 years, they are looking very young and very strong at the age of 102 years. So it is very strange. A couple of days later, we were discussing this unusual birthday party. I said to him, "Sir, do you know only 4 out of 1 lakh people cross the age of 100?" I had googled the subject beforehand. So he just want to say that beforehand means before I talk with you, when I have searched on the Google, that time I come to know that very few 4 people out of 1 lakh people, only 4 people can reach above 100. So he replied, "But how many of these 4 would be able to stand tall for half an hour, give a wise discourse, and then go on to feed thousands of children?" Discuss means formal talk. So please talk with me, please formally talk with me, that from that people, from that 4 people, nobody can stand till half an hour only. But if when I look at you, it is really amazing that you can stand on your own feet at the age of 102. So please tell me about this, and then go for to give a food to your children. Then, of course, nobody could know the exact answer to his question, but the question itself led to many other relevant queries. Queries means the questions. So I wonder what power Mahaswamiji possesses that keep him so strong at such the advanced age. Maybe it's a balanced diet and healthy lifestyle, or perhaps is genetic. I ask. Genetic means inner, we can say inner strength, or from the genes he can be very genetic means the study of genes. It is a part of study of genes. We can say that it is a very complimenting that he can stand on his own feet and very strong. Dr. Kalam sat contemplating deeply. Contemplating means a meditate on the ponder, on a meditation way. He recollected the tenet of goodness of action from Pramukh Swamiji. Okay, tenet means a principle or the belief. Then perhaps swimming in silence to shores of Mahaprayagji. Then he gathered the sands of conscience to be our guide, our best friend, deeper down in the space-time of memory. He must have heard Professor Brahma Prakash words about the need of living a pure and ethical life, and Father Periyar's and Dr. Sarabhai's lesson of selflessness in service. Eventually, his thought would have settled on Swami Sivanand of Rishikesh, in whom he saw a great tranquility. Tranquility means peace, a calmness, and finally they must have come full circle with a memory of the life of simplicity of his father, who always exposed means gave a support, the value of giving back. See, value of giving back means whatever the nature is given to you, you have to give back to the nature. And if you are not giving back to the nature, then nature will give back it very bad. See, now only we are facing too much trouble of our life. Okay, so it is our duty. So whatever we are taking from the nature, whatever we are taking from somebody, we have to give back something on behalf of that. So whenever we do something, we give more than what we got, we definitely get more happiness and more strength. At long last he spoke, it is the very spirit of what I give. He elaborated, Mahaswamiji lives with the beliefs and ethos of our mission. Ethos means the characteristic of spirit, a culture or era. So that ethos, that whatever he gives and gives, education and famished minds, food of, to famished bodies. Okay, so whatever he can give, that he is giving to everybody. So he is giving. Famished means extremely hungry. Those who are very hungry for the education, he is giving education to them. Those who are very hungry for the food, he is giving food to them. In giving so much, he becomes strong. So now only I said that. So how much you can give, that much you will get back in a view of strength and the blessings. So his munificence means what? Munificence means the generosity fuels his strength. So that is the fuel of his strength. That is what he keeps him standing tall and active in life. And all that blessing, all these strengths make him active in the life. The essence of happy life and the peaceful society lies in one sentence. What can I give? So if we'll ask to everybody, what can I give, and whatever I have, that I'll give to you, so that giveness will definitely come back in a shape of a strength. Turning to me, he asked, what is the reverse of what can I give? Circumspectly I replied, what can I take? Circum means cautiously. Cautiously I replied that, what can I take? Yes, he said, and that is the thought which is responsible for all the wrong we see around us. We think that we can take from the environment and destroy the indiscriminately. We think of what we can take from other humans, leading us to corruption and inequity. Iniquity means injustice. So because we are just taking from everybody, we are taking from nature, we are taking from environment, and indiscriminately means without judging anything, without thinking anything, we are just keep on taking. We are to doing corruption, and that corrupted money spread inequality among the society, and because of that inequality, injustice, we are losing our strength. And this attitude of taking and taking, even destroying the families to keep this planet livable and the human race thriving. We have to replace this attitude of what can I take with the goodness of what can I give. So what always we are thinking about that, what can I take? So we have to replace this attitude with what can I give, because whatever you are giving, it is a boomerang, and with the boomerang you got a strength. And if we will give dissatisfaction, inequality and the corruption to society, definitely it will boomerang to you also, and your strength you will lose. and the gravity of the message struck me. This challenge become my silent motivation, and only this challenge is become the silent motivation to live the life, because whatever we are taking we have to give back, and it is very highly impossible that whatever we are taking from the environment we cannot give back. Suppose we will plant one tree also, from that tree also we need something, at least shade we need, and for that only we are planting that tree. But it is not good that if we want something then only we are doing, so it is not good. So if we are giving selflessly anything to anybody, it will become your strength. So 3 years later, in 2012, this idea became a reality as our What Can I Give movement, through which Dr. Kalam tried to combat corruption, environmental degradation, and the social evils. So now only I talk with you that whatever the corruptions is going on in our society, the environmental degradation, and because of that we cannot get a nice food, nice green vegetable, nice green fruit also, or whatever it is we are getting now, it is hybrid, and sometimes only we are getting true vegetables. Whatever we are getting, it is not good for our health sometimes. So it is important that we ask ourselves this question, for in the answer lies the truth of humanity. So go ahead and question yourself, what can I give? So whatever it is in your hand, that you always ask to yourself that instead of what I can take, you have to ask your mind, what can I give? The answer will be astounding, that is amazing. And so that this lesson is adapted from What Can I Give by Srijan Pal Singh. So we'll just summarize this lesson. Okay, so in the science and spirituality gives us an insight into APJ Abdul Kalam's thought and action. A renowned scientist, his contribution to the field of science is exemplary, and he was very secular in his thought and was incredibly down to earth person, and chose to live a simple life in spite of having all privilege. And he was one of the most respected leaders the world could ever have. It was his firm belief that the rich must live simply so that the poor can simply live. He attributed his humility to the teaching of his father and the way he is brought up. The lesson highlights his close interaction not only with the great scientist Dr. Vikram Sarabhai but also the Reverend Father Peria, His Holiness Dr. Sri Shiv Kumar Mahaswamiji, and many other great religious personalities. He felt blessed to have such a great people in his life who added value to his very being. He was brought up on the island of Rameshwaram where Hindus, Christian and Muslim lived in harmony. It was his belief that through difficulties and problems, God gives us opportunity to grow. He had his share of failure and hardship before reaching the top, but his faith made him turn every failure into a teacher. A gifted visionary, his vision for 2020 project India as a superpower, an economic giant, and a great nation of the modern times. He firmly believed in an education with a value system which would bring about a peaceful world. The one line which never left his thought was what Mahaswamiji had told him during one of their discourse. It was, the essence of the happy life and peaceful society is one sentence: what can I give? Dr. Kalam brought this idea into reality in 2012 through the What Can I Give movement, through which Dr. Kalam tried to combat corruption, environmental degradation, and social evils. A quote by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam which describes him best is, for great men, religion is a way of making friends. Small people make religion a fighting tools. he said that religion should graduate into spirituality to bring peace in the world. So though the people, those who are only misuse the religion, and they misuse the religious right to fighting with each other, but it is not good. So instead of fighting with each other, the religion can become a source of a peace in the world. So with the help of religion and spirituality, you definitely convert the world into the peace. So that always ask to your mind, what can I give? So I hope students you have understood this lesson, how the science and spirituality connected together, and how it will go hand in hand and make the progress in the world and solve the human problems. So in this way we have seen this lesson, science and spirituality. Okay, thank you students, thank you very much. Take care, stay home, stay safe. I'll provide the PDF for the hard word, and please solve the question answers of the lesson. Thank you very much. Thank you.